everyone. Welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I have Dave Johnson back.
Hello, everyone.
So yeah, I would love a little catch up. What's been going on your channel? What you've been doing?
God, there's a lot of stuff going on, as there is everywhere right now. I know you guys are all feeling it. I am doing a lot of past life regressions. I'm doing that kind of stuff and channeling a bit more because I'm sure you're going to agree. It's like predicting the future is stressful. I mean, among other things, you got to watch politics. And what could be more like stressful right now than watching politics, right? And I am sure I'm with all of you guys that I like impossible. If I start YouTube, it's like I can't stop it. It's like I can't stop myself. I can't pull myself away. I am still fighting this battle, and part of that battle is a little shift to more channeling. But which is a little bit of a different thing. It's a little bit about the whole life as opposed to politics right now. It might include some politics, but I still do the psychic work. You can still get a consultation, but I'm really, really enjoying the past life regressions. That is just it's such a next level kind of thing. People are so, everybody can channel. And when
Yeah.
you put people in hypnosis, they're channeling. And they are always like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. And at the same time, I'm channeling. So it's like channeling together. And it's really exciting. And just from a history perspective, it's fascinating. It's like yesterday I'm with this client and I'm going to put this video up, but it's like I'm sitting with all those people from the Enlightenment, like Voltaire. And this woman was the one lady that they allowed in their circle. She was not allowed to speak, but she was allowed to ask questions, right? So it's really fun stuff just to see, like, even from a woman's perspective, how even though her power was very limited, we think it's a lady called Madame Helvetius, who was like friends with all of these Enlightenment people. From her perspective, what happened during the revolution and all those other stuff, that's the French Revolution. So just to talk to her and see like how she managed as a woman who was not allowed to speak, still to gain the respect of all these people. They really, really loved her. And she was still, although she was limited, she still had all these powers because she was just so able to use her mind and her words to convince people. It's just so interesting. I love history, so I could do that all day long,
Wow.
but it's also just so empowering. It just shows people, it shows you like how people in really difficult circumstances like now, and it was really a message for people now that even though it's difficult and even though we have these limitations, we can still work to change the system.
Absolutely. Well, yes, I totally agree with that. We have powers that we really haven't even tapped into, the energies and stuff that we do know and what we can do. I totally agree. Now, how does
Yeah.
somebody get a hold of you to be able to do a trans channeling?
Session, yeah, or past life regression.
Mhm.
Just look at Moonride, and it's moonride.com/AU. You can also just go to one of my videos, any one of the videos, and usually there's a little box that pops up, but also in the video, in the written little box there, it also has the you'll see the link.
Yep. Yeah, I know. When you if you go to his YouTube channel, which is Dave Johnson, for those who don't know, I can't imagine anybody not knowing. But then you go to one of his videos and you go drop down, and I think it's either comments or I don't know.
Yeah,
That's where you're gonna find that. So yes,
yeah. It's not
and
the
also
comments box. Sorry, it's a description box which says what I'm
description
talking about.
box. That's what it
Yeah,
is.
I have put in the comments. But
Yeah,
moonride.com.au. Thank you.
there you go. And I know just a little small announcement on mine. I also on my community page, you can kind of scroll through. I also opened up a few more days if you wanted to book a reading with me as well. There is a link there that'll take you to a page and you can make your own appointment and even shows up in your own time zone, which helps you and me.
Yes. I also tell everybody, get a reading from Sheila. She just before we got on here gave me just the most terrific, really empowering, really useful, on point reading. And I didn't even ask.
Yeah, and I didn't even know that him and his husband were doing what they were doing. So, anyways, all right, here we go. Here are some first questions here. One is, okay, I have a lot of questions about this. Is hello, will the government be shut down? Everybody, there's a lot of questions about that. So I'll let you think.
Well, one thing, just preliminary, the first word that I get is desperate. If that's what the Republicans are thinking, they are desperate. And this is going really, really well. Because, did it ever gain them any points to shut it down? Let's take a look. Okay, clear up my opinion. Let's see. It's funny because isn't Mitch McConnell really sick? Didn't he have a stroke? Is he still
He
even operating?
I don't know. He was having glitches. He was having stuff going on in his like seizures or something. He glitched a couple of times, but it just seems like that's all we hear about it. We never get like any detail, and he's still involved and he's still alive.
I see, and I mean, I think this is kind of symbolic. I see Mitch McConnell like on, like on the bed being really, really sick, like on life support. And I think this is very symbolic of the Republican Party. They are on life support. They're getting desperate. They can't get rid of Trump. He is now a liability, right? So let's take a look. What you doing, Mitch? Okay, Mitch is drinking water, and it's like aqua vitae. It's like, I need this water to survive. So he kind of rolls his eyes and he says no. And he's just like, look, that's a disaster. Now he's just one guy. What about the whole Republican Party? Will they shut it down? Well, they're fighting about it, and some extremists who are desperate to keep their seats want to do it, like Jim Jordan would do it. But he'll do anything for power. So, but he's obviously worried about his position, or he wouldn't do something so extreme, which is good news for the Democrats. Look, I think things are trending so badly for the Republican. This is kind of my feeling now, not 5 minutes ago. Things appear so bad for the Republican Party that they are taking absolutely desperate measures. Now, there's some of them who are more secure in the seats, like Susan Collins is there going, well, yeah, no, because I'm not giving up my seat for yours, right? That's the argument. And they seem to be like the calmer portion, the more calculating portion of the Republican Party, the less extreme portion is being led by, people, Jim Jordan did not have any success impeaching Biden. So far, all of their tactics have not worked. So they're kind of going, keep quiet, keep quiet. So, well, Susan, are you going to do it or no? It's interesting because I get a little bit of a maybe, but then I get a no. Well, let me ask you again, Susan. Come on, don't be a politician. Tell me the truth. I get that it was an idea that had some traction. People were thinking about this because they can't think of what else to do. But ultimately, the answer for her is going to be no. I am getting the feeling the Republican Party is already preparing for a defeat. It's just a question of how defeated they would look. But these guys have statistics, they have people, they have tons and tons of information that the rest of us don't have. And they know how badly this is going. It's going really, really badly for the Republicans. I think like even a safe seat like Susan Collins is now becoming at risk. We could go more about the senators, but no, they won't do it.
I don't think so either. I've kind of had that feeling as well as is they're gonna employ the Democrats again, get past the Freedom Caucus and piss off Marjorie Taylor Greene one more time. But I also heard a rumor that she's like, don't do it. I don't know. She's shifting.
She does seem to be shifting, doesn't she?
Not like in a real sense of the shifting curable way. She just knows she knows something's up, something different.
Well, I'm just getting the impression Laura Loomer took her place. And she wanted to be Trump's woman, if we'll put it that way. I'm not accusing anybody of sleeping with anyone, but she wanted to be, let's say, his best friend. And now he's picked Laura Loomer because she's like even crazier than you.
Yeah, yeah. Laura
So,
Loomer took Marjorie Taylor and made her look tame.
yes, yeah. And I think Marjorie Taylor Greene has a little bit of the girl who wanted to be popular but wasn't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Laura Loomer, I think, was popular. I think she was a mean girl, but that's what Laura Loomer represents for her. So she's fighting mad. She's like, "What Laura Loomer got on me? That's not fair."
Well, I
I
hope
think
they fight more. Apparently, they've been throwing some like hints, like I got something on you and I got something on you. I'm like, bring it on, girls.
I hope they get it on video. That'll be fun to watch.
Oh my gosh. It'd be like
But isn't it
icing on the
karmic?
cake.
Isn't it karmic? You
Yes.
know, these conspiracy theories are starting to come back on them. The meanness and pettiness means now they're focusing on each other because they're not rising. There's something divine about that.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about it is infighting is a real thing when that is so toxic. You have no other choice but to go implode instead of explode. It's imploding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody wants to know is will Laura Loomer be the next wife of Trump? I mean,
Wow. Is that a question? Uh,
it is a question.
in a weird way, I get Melania with her hands on her hips saying she already is. She's like, I haven't been like, I don't have any desire to be intimate with this person. She's there like literally as a placeholder. She just has no, it's just the wife. That's who she is. She has no power really. She has no personality that, she's not a thing unto herself. It's not like people love her like Eleanor Roosevelt. She's just the wife. Then you have a cardboard cutout of her, and that would be the same. Laura Loomer is entertaining and flattering him. She's his wife Ivanka is not flattering her anymore. And did I just say Ivanka? Melania isn't flattering her anymore. But
Herodian.
Laura Loomer is. Yeah,
No, I said
so
Herodian slip when you said
I know that was a bit Freudian, wasn't it? Okay, I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but it's gross. Let's face it. It's gross when you get your daughter to have surgery so that she looks prettier and you design her face for her. I think that is just not an okay thing to do.
it's really not okay. And I kind of popped that out there as a joke, but I have a feeling. I mean, she was putting her breast on him in pictures. How
Uh,
does someone get that close to Trump to put their breast on them in public and get a picture? I mean, most women, probably beautiful women, could probably do that, but she like blatantly,
Shamelessly.
yeah,
Mhm.
like how, I mean, he does have a wife, Missy.
Yes, yes, yes. And the public is watching. But talk about projection. They accuse Kamala of doing this,
Yep.
but it's always a projection with the Republican Party. And I don't. I'm asking the question: is Laura Loomer intimate with him? I don't know if it's gone all the way.
I know. I'm like,
I don't want to know, but I feel her being affectionate with him and manipulating her with her, sort of cooing kind of routine. It's a little bit like a Tennessee Williams kind of thing. It's grody, but he's such a sucker. He's such a sucker that he thinks she really likes him. Like really, come on, man. Talk about a naive fool. Um, that he always thinks that people are attracted to him because of his power, not his great looks. But
yeah, I
okay, Don.
never considered him good looking ever. Ever. Not
Yeah.
once have I ever seen a picture and thought, oh, he looks pretty deep. Nope. No, no, no. But, all right, let's go. Let's move past the little marriage gossip.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder if that's a point in some Republicans' mind, like he's cheating. He's cheating on the Melania. You know what I mean? I wonder if it's I
I
don't know.
don't.
Silly things get them. They're like the most strangest things get them,
Yeah,
not the stuff that matters. So
yeah, yeah, it's true. Yeah.
it's weird. Okay. And Trump's health, I don't know if we need to look into his health. We all know that it's a shocker that his body's still alive. Let's just put it that way. Let's see if we can get to, will the Republican cause a government shutdown? That was another one. The Democrat Amy the Democrat Amy Klobuchar, I can't remember how to say her name.
Is it Klobuchar?
Yes, thank you.
Uh,
Win her Senate seat in Minnesota against the Republican Royce White.
she seems pretty happy initially. Actually, she's telling me it's a piece of cake. She's just like, I'm not worried. I think she was a little worried, but once we're done, she's just like, oh, 5 points easy, maybe more. It could even be like 15 points. Like the Republicans are in for a shock. That's what she's saying, and she's already starting to see. She has her own statisticians. Is there anything else you want to tell me, Klobuchar? It's just a little funny. This vision draw is just funny. She's kind of like a superstar in that sense. Like, it's imagine just like imagine somebody like doing a video and they're like, like kind of like it's like that easy. It's as easy as running your hand through your hair, right? And now I look like Frankenstein, but that's how she is appealing to me.
Good.
Okay. So
Yeah, I
there's
don't see her losing anything either. I see her that smile come back into the Senate floor. So
don't underestimate the power of women. That's exactly what she's saying.
yeah,
Don't underestimate us.
yeah. There's one a UPS. I haven't heard about this one. Have you heard about the UPS? It says the UPS has been without a contract for 400 days plus. When
Oh,
will it be ratified?
and this is the Postal Service, right?
The UPS, yeah, U.S. Postal Service, yes.
USPS. Okay, good. I didn't know they were out of contract, but like the fact that that guy's still running it, that Trump appointee is running it. I would just want to point out, I'm trying to vote for abroad. It is really, really hard. And I've tried to fax things, it doesn't work. I have to have that piece of paper. And they're already telling me, you gotta get it in 3 weeks in advance because DeJoy is gonna delay all the mails. Maybe it'll get lost and it won't get in time. You gotta do this. So I'm really working overtime and I'm really angry that I have to do that. It shouldn't be hard to vote. And I'm discriminated against. If you're in the army and you're in Australia, you have no problem voting,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Captain will vote. So it's a dear question to me. So I'm just looking at DeJoy and he's looking really tricky. Yeah, he is going to delay that contract. I see him like ripping it up. I'm just finding like intriguing ways to make it not happen. And it's a way of sabotaging the post office so that they can't deliver your votes. And so that it's privatized. Uh he'll delay it forever if he can. But I get that it'll be after the election, it'll be like 60 days. Yeah.
Well,
Get your mail in vote early.
yeah, that sucks. I know that if our mail or postal office goes privatized, we will lose everything. Because
Yeah,
privatizing things is the most corrupted alley for those type of things.
totally.
Okay, so here's one. Here's a really good one. It says, when we feel less exhausted all the time?
Oh,
When
good
will the
question.
energy come back?
Hmm. Well, one thing I hope people are noticing is that it is coming back. Just if you look at the optimism of the DNC, just the idea that Kamala's probably going to win is bringing already, like, I almost see like a pyramid, and it's starting to light up from the base,
Mhm.
right? So the bottom is sort of goldish and it's shadowy at the top, but the bottom fundamental things, our democracy will remain intact, although damaged. That is already shifting the energy around us. Now, I don't want to say that it's done, because it is not. There's still a very strong possibility that things could go the wrong way. But, and I also want to say, look, it is up to each individual to try to find solace. I am, as I mentioned, desperately trying not to watch YouTube. Do your best to put the YouTube in a certain context. Watch us, don't watch everybody else. Okay. But do your best to do things that help your energy, because we don't want to depend on the outside world to make us happy. Anybody could be happy, even in a prison. You could find a way. Not suggesting you go to prison. So there is that element. But you know what's going to happen is when Kamala wins, um, I'm sorry, I should say Kamala, I keep mispronouncing her name. When Kamala wins, the something will definitely shift. And it will really be like, this is a democracy. And now we have hope. We're just going to have to back Kamala up and doing things that are really, really important, like getting rid of DeJoy in the post office, and, you know, dealing with the Supreme Court, which is totally corrupted. So it's not like the battle's going to be over, but it'll be, you know, one more layer in that pyramid that I'm seeing. Like, I would say, like, the base is lighting up like this, and the next section out of, you know, 4 or 5 is starting to light up. When we get to that win, it'll be like more than half of this sort of pyramid. That's what I'm getting shown. You know, it'll really be helpful when she gets started, because everybody is wondering how she's going to deal with these problems, and if she's going to be able, and if she's going to have enough senators.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, is we got to kick off and make sure that we always get the point out. Says not only vote for the president, go down ballot. And that's what on TikTok and all social media, we have just been literally just make sure you're aware of who your representatives are, what's going on, and vote down ballot 100%. No, none of this works unless everybody votes.
That's right. And if everybody votes, it absolutely will work,
Yep,
right? If
exactly.
young people vote, the left wins.
Yep.
And you're absolutely right. You know, we just have to vote 100% down ballot, do everything you can to get to vote, and try to encourage people who are kind of busy that day. I'll drive you to do
Yeah.
whatever.
You need help? I'll get you there. Well, here in
Yeah,
Colorado, it's really easy. Everybody, it's mail-in, everything, all of them.
yeah, love Colorado.
Colorado is all mail-in. I don't even know if there is a polling place that's open that you can do it. I'm sure there is, you know,
Yeah.
somewhere. But everybody gets mailed their ballot, well in enough advance of a time to look it over, to make your decisions, and then you mail it in, and then you get a little email and or text message saying that your ballot has showed up, everything is good to go, and it has been counted.
Yep, yep, that's the process. Yeah. You
So
know,
a beautiful process.
I get the day Kamala takes office, that will be a huge flip for everybody. It's
Yes.
like the battle isn't done, but I'm feeling like the minute everybody's gonna go, democracy's safe. You know, it really did work despite the shadowy opposition. You know, this really is a battle between good and evil.
How do
And
you feel
that,
about Florida?
good question. I just did a reading with Florida, but I'll take a look at Florida. So, Spirit, will Florida go Republican or Democrat? It's interesting because there's a big shadowy mass, almost like an I don't know, but it is dark. And then on top of it, I get ooh, a very light red. I feel like it's going to be fairly close, but I feel like the Republicans will win, but I also feel like it's not decided, right? You know, the Florida's a specific place, with very specific people. Yeah, I'm afraid the Republicans will probably take Florida, but it's not decided.
It is not decided, but there is a lot of it's gonna get close enough to sting, I think. Here's another
Hmm.
thing is the Hades population, I'm probably saying that wrong, but uh they have the biggest Hades population, which is in Florida.
Oh, the Haitians live there.
Haitians.
Wow.
There it is.
Yeah.
There's the word. Haitians population is in Florida.
Yeah. Well,
That could hurt.
it could hurt. I don't think that they have the entire wherewithal to vote. I think that, one thing is, there's one time when I missed voting. I was just working 3 jobs. I just couldn't get to this place. I had to move.
Yeah.
Uh, I just couldn't vote. And it's the only time I didn't vote. But, one way we're manipulated is that, the polling takes place while you're at work. So only people who have some power can leave and go vote unless they vote by mail. And I don't necessarily think that the Haitian population yet has,
Well,
they
maybe
don't,
this will wake them up. Maybe this will get them ready. Maybe this will get them into a plan.
yeah. Yeah, what's my feeling with that? I think that you're right. I'm not sure they will be successful this time.
Yeah.
I think it is indicative. I think it will be close enough. At the very least, it'll be close and it will give the Republicans a scare. I also don't think it will benefit Ron DeSantis. I
No.
think he's I think he's ruined and good riddance.
Well, he can't be reelected apparently unless they change the rules and regulations, which they
Oh
often do in
yeah.
Florida. He cannot be reelected.
Uh-huh. Well,
He
he
he's
could go
termed
to
out.
yeah, they could go to another, he could try to get another position.
Yeah.
Mismanaging Florida and not doing so well isn't going to help him become a senator, for example.
Yeah, I don't think he would get the overall vote for that is for sure. All right, so here we're gonna jump to Lauren Boebert.
Mm,
How does she look in her race?
mm. Angry. First of all, that's what I get from her. Really pissed. Fighting mad, right? She's twirling a gun on her finger, like she's some kind of Annie Oakley, and she isn't. Okay, she's not that cool. What are you gonna do? Well, she is going to say, oh, it's not fair. It was stolen. She's going to go that whole routine. I don't think, well, are you going to win or not? Look, I keep seeing her with a gun. I have a bit of concern around that particular election and the way that she's going to act. I don't think that she's going to win, but something's up with that a particular place. She will undermine the rule of law. So Spirit, is it blue or red? Yeah, I'm seeing blue. She's not gonna win. Your state, right?
Yeah, she's definitely our state. Now, there is a Republican who is elected in to fill out what's his face's the rest of his term. So there is
Mm,
an incumbent, just not the original incumbent.
mm.
Then she got the, whatever. So we were curious. I'm pretty sure. I mean, that part of our state is red. If it turns blue, it will be one of those
Okay.
miracles. Yeah.
Yeah, really?
But I have a
Okay.
feeling that the incumbent is going to win.
Yeah, uh-huh. Okay. So there's already a Republican in there. Okay, yeah, it's gonna go to the incumbent. That's why it's a little bit weird and ambiguous. But okay, and then of course you see the twirling gun, she's like the radical. I'm the
Yeah,
radical. And so maybe it's all good. It's just the incumbent Republican will win.
I think so too. I've kind of have felt the same way that the incumbent is a lot stronger candidate. Now, the reason why she got the nomination was because it was split between five people. And
Mm.
so when they were doing the re-election,
Uh,
five people, if it was just for two people, what the other five people got would have won. You see what I
right,
mean? So
right.
Yeah, so she just got it by default, to be honest with you, but she didn't get a secure vote. That's for sure.
Right, right. Yeah. I think people are going to move a little bit away from the total radical because they're realizing that that's the limit. The Republicans are realizing.
Correct. Here's one here for Moscow Mitch, but you already kind of answered a little bit of that where you see him in the hospital. Let's see if we have some more. There's a lot of questions about the government. It says here's one. How many key electrical states will you see Kamala Harris winning? What do you see? Kind of take a
The electoral states, you mean swing states?
yeah, the electrical, the electoral
Okay.
number. What do you kind of see? Is there any number or anything that you're seeing?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the number means and because I don't know the context because I get a number 38. I don't know what 38 means, whether that's, it's not 38 states. I don't know what that means. Um, okay. So maybe we'll just look at the swing states. How many states would you consider swing?
There's at least, I think, eight. I think eight. I'm not really sure on that, but I think they're looking at the Electoral College. I mean, you have to have 270 to win.
Right. Oh, so what are the electoral numbers going to
Yeah,
be?
yeah.
I And what's the total on Electoral College? Do you know the numbers? Like 500 something?
You're gonna get me to lie.
Well,
I,
maybe that's not the most important thing. We'll just not worry about the details.
let's kind of look and see whether I mean, we all know she's going to win the presidency, but is she going to like win the presidency? Like, is he gonna get so
Totally
stomped?
smashed. Well, my first feeling is 280, and I think she just needs 270 to win. But that's just it. Like that's like I almost want to say at least that. Because it could go be way beyond that. It could go like I think it's not certain. I think 280 is for minimum, but I think their maximum could be like 325. I think it could be I think it could totally swamp things. Oh, you know what? I'm seeing her at a microphone, and I'm thinking, I wonder if they are going to debate again after all. Is there? Okay, first of all, if Kamala debates him, it's super brave because she doesn't need to, right? She's going to win anyway. But I think she might just do it anyway because she's just like that confident and she knows that she could wipe the floor with him. And so I think I see her at a microphone and I see her just shining, she could just be really, really shining. And that's what I see. And then I see a completely deflated Trump. I don't know whether it's just like normal political stuff between now and that she just does very well. She keeps doing well and well and well. And maybe Trump, when he steps up to a microphone anywhere, just looks old and deflated. I don't know if that's that or whether actually they're going to have
Could it be
an
the
act.
could it be her announcing her like she won? Could it be
It
that?
could be that. It could be that. All right, Kamala, what are you doing? I see a very angry Trump. You could be right. I think you're onto something. I just see like, the old fashioned microphone. Like she's speaking at the microphone. There's a flag behind her. There's a lot of people around cheering. No, I think it is before the election.
Okay.
I can't tell if that's because Donald Trump's sort of there in the distance. He's not right next to her. So I don't know if this is symbolic, but this does to me, it could very much be what you're saying. This is her win. It could be just winning in a continuous sense. She's just going to do better and better with him. Whether she debates him or not, she just does better and better. And it could go as much as 320, three something, 321. It could go really, really high. Again,
That
she only needs to do 70. But keep in mind, we need all the senators we can get,
Right.
right? To get stuff passed.
Yeah, I think she's going to gain some states that we didn't know about,
I
that
think
we
North
wouldn't have
Carolina,
considered.
North Carolina, that's what I'm getting. She's
Yeah,
gonna get
North Carolina
it.
for sure. I
And
mean,
that'll be
everywhere she goes and does a rally, she packs the place. You know, she's packing them in. And of
she's
course,
so
Trump is.
exciting. Yeah, she's so exciting. And I like the fact that it seems like the sexism has gone by the wayside.
Yep.
It's almost like the man was so bad that people are like, yeah, a woman would be better. I forget the candidate, just the gender would be better.
Yeah,
You know,
I think
that's true.
it's literally like everybody was a little worried. Oh, is this country ready for a woman? And at some point in time, we all just said, she's just the better person.
Figure it out. Yeah, just
And
about
stop, yeah, and we just literally obliviated and just wiped out the gender aspect of the whole thing. Now, the Republicans love to push the gender, and we're all like, we're not hearing it. We
yeah,
saw her resume compared to Trump's. That's all
yeah.
it needs to, like that. I really do think that this country is ready for a female.
Well, Hillary really triggered people, right? Triggered especially men. And I can tell you, just as a man talking to men, she triggered people. Men
Sure.
don't like it. They don't like women telling them what to do.
Yep.
But that's just some men. And I think this whole body of very vocal men showed up. And there's the quieter guys who are like, yeah, I own a gun, but I don't want to live through chaos again. I
Hmm.
don't I don't want women to not have that right.
Yeah,
So there's like good guys and bad guys. And I think that the good guys are going to go out and vote. I think that
I think so
there's
too.
a whole body of men that really are just going to go, I don't want to lose my rights either. I like my girlfriend and I want her to make choices. And
Yeah.
if I get her knocked up, I want us to be able to make choices. And also, just general feeling like, look, I'll tell you, as a guy in the locker room, there's some guys that are just gross. And then there's some really awesome guys that will get out of the locker room and go, that's gross. Don't
Yeah.
ever act that way. I have wonderful male heterosexual guys who just think that they're regular guys. And they will go out and say, that's wrong, right? Or I really support women. And they're perfectly good because they have good moms and good friends that are women. And maybe they could use a conversation. But
Right.
generally speaking, this really is a battle of good and evil. And I kind of see her as very much a divine feminine figure with this sword. That doesn't exclude men, right? We can all be more relatable and kind. We can all
Well,
be
in these, yeah,
right.
in the past years that have come up, women have gained this and gained that, the education, got great jobs, this, that, and the other, right? We have been teaching men how to respect us.
Yes. Mhm.
We women have learned to raise our own self-worth, and we
Yeah.
have been teaching men how to treat us. Now, with that said, we're also raising sons to look at women differently, right?
Yes.
The Gen
Good for
X are
you.
raising sons like that's not how you treat them. Now we
Good for
have a
you.
whole bunch that did not do that, but we have like tons that have. Now that we have taught them how to respect us, you can't undo that respect in a man.
Yeah. Yeah. And
And I
I'll be a
think
great
that's what they're
example.
dealing with. They cannot,
Yeah.
you have disrespect for a woman, that's from the get-go, but you cannot undo a man who has been taught how to respect women.
I agree. And my mom, thank you, mom, for teaching me all of those things. And she had very much had a change of heart in the 50s. She thought women should be more obedient. And then she became a wife and a parent. She's like, no way, we're not doing that.
Of
And I also had,
course.
as you're saying that, I was thinking of my an eighth grade history teacher. Because I said something sexist, being funny and jokey. She came right up to my table
Yeah.
and embarrassed me in front of all those people by going, so, your rights are disappearing. How does that feel? All your powers are going. And I was just so embarrassed. But I remember being a young person and going to the schoolyard and talking to the other women, the other, I guess we can
Yeah.
say girls, who were like, Dave, it's not cool that you go snap a girl's bra strap. They don't think that's funny. And I was like, oh, really? I thought it was hilarious. And, we all have an obligation to, when possible, in the strong, but, you know, perhaps not negative way, help people to change, right? People are just ignorant. They're not cruel so much.
I agree. And well, that's the thing is that behind the scenes, there's been a whole bunch of teaching being had with women
Yeah,
and men and
yeah,
boys
yeah.
and things
Go,
like
go
that.
women.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
keep doing that. It makes a difference.
Consider it, us equal and we can't do this and we're not your brood mares, and stuff like
Right, right.
that.
Yeah.
All right, so here's a few more. There's a lot of repetitive questions here, but a lot of people want to know about, is Elon Musk losing his sanity?
Ew, Rose. Yeah, ooh, that, who is it? Is it Schmiegel? That's in the Lord of the Rings. Give me the precious. He looks like
Oh,
that. He has two names. One of them is Schmiegel and
Schmiegel,
Gollum.
Schmiegel,
Yeah, and the other one's the
Schmiegel.
Gollum. Right. Yeah. Give me the precious. That's a little bit what he looks like. He looks like Schmiegel. He's like, if you notice, you look at recent pictures of him, he is visually just declined.
Horrible,
He looks,
horrible.
kind of that, if you look at a profile of Trump now, he kind of looks like that too. And I don't want to put down people for their looks, but I think that sometimes the warts come out.
I think I know what you're talking about. You know how somebody can really do a glow up, a glow up, like they get spiritual, legit spiritual. They start healing, they start this, and they start all of a sudden you start seeing them. It doesn't matter how old they are. All of a sudden they start glowing.
Right.
It's wonderful. Now you take the opposite. You get more evil. You start to lie. You start to do this. You start to manipulate. You can see the deterioration
Yes.
in their face and in their physical appearance. And I think that's what
Yeah.
you're talking about.
Yeah. It's you. I'm sure you noticed this too. I constantly get these clients, and one of the things I do is write down their birthday. And I tell you every single time, I'm like, what? You're 70? I had a woman 70 yesterday, and not a wrinkle on her face. I
Yeah,
was like, I would say you were 50. And
yeah,
I don't know about everybody, but I notice it about my clients. There's something about people who do spiritual work. They
yes.
just keep you young. Maybe it's just a glow. And she had it. And this doesn't mean like all your lives are easy. It means you're doing the work, and good for you.
You could have a terrible experience, but as long as you're spiritually fit to walk through it, you're not gonna have that appearance
Mhm,
of
mhm.
the struggle. And I think that's really important to acknowledge that that's what we're watching. Trump, we're watching them all, the deterioration. You can just see it on them.
See it. And Kamala Harris looks great. I mean, Kamala Harris is still a pretty woman, I would say. And she'll always be a pretty woman, but in particular, she looks younger and she doesn't look her age.
No,
I think that there's something, but if I look at Musk, it just he is not running the show. Like his genius is only to find people to do the work for him. So there's somebody out there who's making, $400,000 a year, who's basically Elon Musk. There are several people. He's just put somebody in charge of this, put somebody in charge of that, put somebody in charge of that. And the other thing is that Musk thinks he thought Trump would win, and that would make it easy. We just outlaw all, websites other than X. We just, the first thing Trump would have done is if he won is delegitimize you and me. We would just simply not make any more money on YouTube with ads. The next thing we do, maybe we get banned or limited. This really would have happened. I think Musk thought Trump would win such that he would get this. We need to do any work; it just automatically get the money. But something else is just something in the distance. I see like almost like nuclear fallout. And that's the message. There is going to be some serious fallout for what he is doing, even within his company. That is, people who work for him, but also people who are invested in that. are starting to see like this guy's nuts. He chose the wrong horse, and that was a major fail. But crazy people have a way of clinging to power. They're so crazy and unpredictable
Yeah.
that people keep following them even when they don't make any sense. So he's going to hang on for a while, but it is a sort of deterioration that's going to happen. The people who will remove him will be the people who have money and X. They will remove him eventually, but it'll be a little bit of time. They're going to hang on for at least 4 more years.
I think he gets bored with it after the
Yeah,
election.
that's possible. Yeah.
I think he allows the loss to happen.
Well, there's no growth in power,
Yep.
right? And people who are really into power, they need constant growth. I mean, this is why Trump's listening to Laura Loomer. He
Yep.
needs constant flattery and, oh, you're so young and good looking. He needs that. And that makes people very vulnerable. He is a very vulnerable person. Oh, we who are more balanced with ourselves, we don't need anybody to tell us, how wonderful we are every single day.
Right.
Spirit tells us that. And Spirit tells us that we're all wonderful at heart. So there's no venom,
Mhm.
right? And he's full of venom.
Very much so. I think he needs those accolades like he needs oxygen.
Yeah.
That's very, very true. Okay, let's see if we can have say what will Kamala presidency look like? Will prices be better, economically be better, or will it take a little while to get rid of the crap?
Well, I'm just going to use my shaman drumstick here just to demonstrate. So every time I see Kamala, it's like this sort of Princess Leia, right? Kind of. I know that it's usually the guy, Luke Skywalker, but it's like a Princess Leia thing, sword over her head. I think one reason we're really optimistic about her is that she's a fighter, and I just see her going. Like, we haven't had a politician with this kind of legal expertise in a long time. I think Obama could have utilized it, but was limited in the time that he lived in. I think she is wielding it in a magnificent way. I don't think it will be easy for her, but
Mm-hmm.
Trump was so bad that I think that she will have more power than she would have if it wasn't that bad, because people have had enough of this busted system that we live in. So Kamala, show me more. I have a very good feeling about it because, again, I love pyramids, and she's doing a sort of pyramid with the sword. What does that mean, Kamala? I kind of feel like there's 3 or 4 really important points on the pyramid that must be done to save our democracy. One of them is to fix the Supreme Court. I think that they should all be evicted from those positions. I would even go so far as to say some of them should be prosecuted. Obstruction of justice is a crime, and they have obstructed justice. I don't think that she will or even should go that far, because that would be so divisive. We don't want a habit of putting Supreme Court justices in jail. But certainly she's going to approach a couple of them, and I mean, absolutely there's some of them who may be forced to resign, and they might be forced to resign because the stuff against them is so great. That is one issue, but there's just these key issues. The problem is some presidents get is just like too much stuff to do, and you just can't hit every mark. So you really have to focus on just a few things, and they're big things. That's what she's going to do. I would even say I'm kind of seeing that it will be tough. And in 6 years from the start, she'll have a real like difficult time. But to me, that means that she wins a second time,
Yeah.
right? It'll take 8 years to do some fixing. Okay, we got to keep being strong here, which is why it's not over. But I wonder if she just seems to be telling me one more thing. There's always hope the next morning, right? That's one thing that she says. There's always hope the next morning, no matter how bad today is. There's always hope the next morning. There's always a new approach. There's always a different way. In some ways, this is really exciting because we're going to see how our government can evolve and change. We're
Yeah.
going to see how the Constitution is going to allow us to rescue our society, or at least democracy in that society. In some sense, all of us are going to be out there very energized, doing the work and doing everything that we can to persuade and doing everything that we can to manage what we are living in. There are major things that need to change. I feel like she shows me success. It won't be easy. It will take a long time, but it will have to be vigilant. But I am not worried at all about her.
Yeah, I think we have to give her the power to do so as well. Like take the House and take the Senate and give her the power to do the things and start changing. I really do think also once we get a few big things underfoot, say we take the House, we take the Senate, and we got the presidency, and they codify Roe v. Wade and eliminate the power of what the Supreme Court had said.
Right.
I think they're gonna cut their power in half by a
Yeah.
lot of things that they're going to do. They're gonna, what is it called when you oh it's a oh I can't say it. But anyways, they're gonna literally cut cut their power in half. I think
Yeah.
that's what I keep on seeing is they're going to work that way to do that. Also, I see with Kamala Harris is that she will promote and also bring about the confidence in a woman. You like she's gonna
Mhm.
elevate the woman
For
in
the
a lot of
world.
ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
for the
not
world.
gonna be. It's gonna be every woman that says, "Well, you can become president too," and that's one thing that a lot of men out there that are not for women being in charge, they're gonna also get their energy and their. She's just gonna cut them in half. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Not legit.
yeah,
I mean, not
yeah.
literally, but you know what I mean. She's gonna cut their power in half. And I
Mm.
also see a lot of the DOJ also having a lot to do. It's like almost the floodgates. They're all itching to go after all these these white supremacists and all of that. They're just like itching to just like give it to us, give it to us, give it to us. And I think after that, they just get the flood and they get to go after all of the ones that have been just terrorizing the neighborhoods.
Yeah,
And without anybody coming in and saying they're just you know.
yeah, yeah. I have a lot of confidence. The system has to change. And that's why she is a great candidate. She
Yep.
does seem to be a change agent. And others were supposed to be change agents and they didn't really succeed. In some ways, all the negatives that's happened has really prepared us to be really staunch and really aware and to not just vote in this election, but the next election so we can
Yeah.
maintain that. Also, Democrats got the message. You got to deliver. You can't promise healthcare for all
Yep.
and deliver 5% of it. You have to deliver. And that's not on Obama. That's on all of the people. Democrats had a majority and they didn't pass that for years.
Yeah.
So it's like you got to be bold. You got to do
Get
things and
it done. Yeah.
you got to think of American people before your own self.
Yeah.
That's the key.
I agree. And I think a lot of the Republicans who are up for election are going to get a rude awakening.
Yep. Yep. I believe so.
Either they're going to win by the skin of their teeth and they're going to have to change their ways.
Hmm.
See, that's also a possibility. Is like we're going to switch a few seats, gain the power back. But a
Yeah.
lot of those Republicans are going to get slapped around enough. They're going to like, we're going to have to change our ways and we're not going to be here anymore.
Right. Right.
They're
Yeah.
going to get a rude awakening how close they're going to lose, win or whatever their seats. I'm not
I
talking like Montana, but I'm talking, you know what I'm talking? Maybe
I
Montana.
even feel that they're a bit tired of the violence.
Yeah, I think so
It's
too.
not they didn't give up their whole souls. I think they're afraid of Trump, but I think there's an element of them that's just like, oh my God, this is a terrible place to live. Do I want my kids to be
Yeah,
living in this place? I think there's some element that they're a little bit ashamed of how badly they did.
yeah,
There are a lot of Republican senators who do not want Trump anywhere near the presidency
correct.
or that.
I agree. 100% agree. I think that there's a lot of them already supporting Kamala Harris, which would be unheard of. Chaney, like Liz Chaney's father. Dick Cheney?
Who can imagine? Yeah. Whoa. Yeah.
What?
That's
What kind of
amazing.
sorcery is that?
Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. Well, he didn't like them picking on his daughter,
No,
right? So
no,
there's a little drop of feminine of the feminine in him. That's like, yeah, well, I still love my daughter. She's a good person, and we shouldn't do.
correct.
Mm.
That's it. Well, I think we've come to the end of a lot of our questions that we did have. I would love to hear a channeled message for the United States if you have one
Uh,
for the election. We have we're going to be on. This is September, October, and then we'll have. I don't know if we'll be able to go on before after that. So we'll have like one more session before the
oh
election.
yeah. Okay.
So if you want to give us a little bit of something, something, something from spirit to
Okay.
help us out.
Cool. All right. Let's just draw in and see who's here to speak. All right. I'm walking up the magic stairs. Getting to the magic elevator. It's really funny. I'm at the magic elevator. Guess who's the elevator hop? You. Got that cool little elevator hop sort of happen on. You're like, come on in, sir.
I'm like, come on in, sir. Come
Uh,
on.
yeah, you're going up with me. Okay. You're like, I'll push the top floor. Okay, good. So I love these images. I walk out. Look, I'm getting like a whole group of spirits out there who would come forward to speak. So it's sort of a divine feminine, but it could be known as like a name we could use for her is Cleopatra. It's not expecting her, but welcome. And she's just saying, I'm here because I was political, okay? And I was that unusual woman in a political power situation. Didn't have as much success as I could have, but I didn't fail either. I was in control of my own life. And I chose when to end it. I had that power and I did change things. Okay, good. So what would you like to tell us? I'm just gonna have her enter my body. Hello, Sheila. This is a message. It's not just for the women of the world, it's for all people who are working towards gaining their own personal power. As you look at these events, don't necessarily think that it's only external, it's happening within you. Within you, you are learning how to use your power better. And there's a great advantage to that. There's learning going on every single day, every single moment. You are learning, learning, learning. If you feel withered, you feel sort of lowered in your power, go to that. Go to the space of the personal power. Maybe I cannot change everything today, but I can go gardening. I can convince my child to be a little bit less aggressive and more understanding. I can help people. I can do the right thing around me so that people observe me. Don't forget that you are an example for others. It doesn't mean you need to be a doormat. It means you need to go out there and just be the strong but kind person that you are every day in every way that you move and everything that you do. There is so much power in simple acts. It might be that you are not in a position of great political power, but you are always in a position of personal power. And this is a good thing. It doesn't mean you need to convince everybody. It doesn't mean you can convince everybody, but you can be an example for many people of a powerful and straightforward, yet generous and kind and convincing person. There is much more power afforded to you to be able to convince people via your example than you know and realize. Feel safe and calm in the fact that you have evolved. You have, against all odds, come together. You did shift the last election, and you will shift the next. It is an ongoing process. You will always be learning. Sometimes you'll be learning on more stressful levels. Sometimes you'll be learning on less stressful levels. But the learning is what's going on here. And there's a great beauty in that. When you feel discontented, see the light. Spend a moment of your time and just see the light out there, the beauty, the positive. Think of kind things that people have done for you. Think of kindnesses that others have observed about your actions. Think of kindnesses that you've seen just among strangers, and you will be empowered. Whenever you're in that distress, you can immediately switch to the positive. You can immediately switch to what you guys call love. And that is the key space to be in. It will calm you and it will help you to convince those who are able to be convinced. Do not worry. That is, be active. Don't entertain thoughts that you can't really change. There are things in the past for all of you that are hurtful. And it's not a bad idea to revisit those things and see them and work with them a little bit, to be kind to the young person who experienced that, to have a conversation with that person. Again, we would emphasize all of you are doing something very important on Earth. You are learning about yourself and your powers. Every moment of every day is an empowering one. You might also think as a sort of ledger, everything that you do is written down. And this is not a test per se. This is just a sort of awareness that is being created as you do each thing. You're becoming more aware of how you are doing it and why you're doing it. It doesn't matter so much if you make a mistake, as long as there's an awareness around that. And we are speaking more ethically than practically. All people make practical mistakes. All people make ethical mistakes, and then they revisit them and they move on. What is motivating you? What is making you sad? These are all worthwhile things to think about. At the same time, you work with the politics and you work with the social groups. There are two things that are really necessary for humans right now. One is self-reflection. And in the self-reflection, you do that. Why am I doing this? What's motivating? Am I putting myself down? Am I limiting myself? Why? Who put the message in that said, I'm not a powerful person? There is the self. And then there is a reflection on the group of people that you are with. Avoid negative people. Spend as much time as you can with people who are positive, people who are working for change, people who calmly discuss things and may not agree with you, but at least respect you and your opinion. Avoid those who are doing harm to your psyche. It doesn't help to be around negative people who you argue with. Limit those as much as possible. Everything is going to be fine in the long run. Everyone, everywhere, at all times is evolving and will evolve. Obviously, it would be better if that happens faster. It would be better for you and your feeling body. But in the end, everything works out just fine. To some degree, the crises that you are facing are exactly the ones that you're supposed to face. They are the ones that are here to teach you what you need to know in this lifetime so that you can have a success in the end. The more that you learn, the better. The more that you understand yourself, the better. That is even more important than the political or social situation that you're in. It is about the individual and their experience. That is the greatest thing. You live in a culture where many individuals are having many experiences and things can be complicated. But you might look at my life, the life of Cleopatra, and you might say that I was a failure. I was not. I used my powers to go as far as I could, and the fate around me limited those powers. But I utilized them. I evolved and I changed. People still speak my name and still think of me as a feminine figure with power. I am a reflection of all of you, and I did succeed. You will succeed. Start with the self and then move on to the groups of people you are associated with. Spend much time with them as much as you spend with yourself. Everything is going to be fine. Everything will be okay. We admire the work that you are doing because we know that it is not easy. It is much easier for us to watch, to be these disembodied beings. But we do have empathy for you. We understand that it is hard on your heart to go through these things. Have the solace that the light is always there. It is always available to you. You can reach out and you can always touch it. It's just a question of choosing that. Again, we say everything will be just fine. And we want to send you our energy and love and blessing as you watch. You can, in this moment, reach out for that energy and bring it into your heart and let it be there, let us say. We thank you for the opportunity to speak directly to you. Now we will withdraw. Bless you, all of you. Oh. And I did my thing where I'm turning sideways as I speak. It's very funny. You know, the greatest thing about that is, you know, sometimes you see her, you see the Egyptians, they have that sort of, you know, like where they're holding two objects across their chest. I
Yeah.
could feel them. I could feel that gold on her, right? I could feel the beauty in a way. It's always fun to do that.
Well, it was a great feminine message, that is for sure. It was
Good.
definitely needed for this time. That was beautiful. Thank you.
Great, great. Thank you.
Are there any last things you want to say before we log off?
Just thank you, all y'all, and thank you, Sheila, for having me on. It's always such a great pleasure. And thanks for the little message, the little free reading you gave me beforehand. That's really something I'm going to enjoy thinking about, talking about. It's just been great. Thanks again.
Thank you. And thanks everybody. If you made it this far, thank you. And we'll see you in the next video.
Looking forward.